My mom and I moved to the quiet countryside to start a second life, leaving city life behind. Here, no one knows us. She treats me with the utmost respect, as if I were an adult, and waits for me after making our home cozy and welcoming. I know exactly when she feels no burden, so I started to hurry. My mom, waiting for me to prepare, enjoys her beer and cookies while watching a movie. It's like I'm living with a beautiful lover. It's been 4 years since my dad suddenly became a star in the sky. To put it precisely, when I was in my first year of high school. That day, the weather turned from clear to stormy, pouring down heavy rain. I had studied hard for a major exam, and, thanks to my mom's teachings, scored 100, making it an even happier day. I was about to surprise her when I got home, but I called instead. Her voice, unlike usual, was trembling. "I just got the call your dad passed away. There was an accident, and though he was rushed to a major hospital, he didn't make it," she sobbed. "Which hospital, Mom?" I asked. "It's the funeral home at the university hospital near our house. Come quickly, Liam." I immediately caught a taxi to the funeral home. My mom looked like she had just arrived from home, pacing back and forth alone. I contacted my father's business associates, and as an only son, I was overwhelmed with arranging the funeral. My mom cried until she lost consciousness and had to rest in a hospital room. I remember that day as one when my father left happily. "I'm going to get an investment from the biggest player in the industry this afternoon. We'll be able to live more comfortably," he sang cheerily. On his way to meet the investor, he had an accident with a large construction vehicle coming out of a construction site. After the funeral, returning home, sitting quietly with my mom, the house felt incredibly bleak without Dad. My uncle, my mom's brother, patted her shoulder, offering a word of encouragement before hugging me and leaving. I hardly remember my biological mother. She passed away from a genetic disease when I was in kindergarten. I vaguely remember my dad crying a lot at that time. I remember crying at a strange funeral home, asking my mom's photo. "Mom, why are you here?" With my mom gone, my grandmother came to live with us and took care of me because my dad was too busy with his business. I recall crying a lot over missing my mom, even when eating the warm meals my grandmother prepared. Poor thing without a mom. She would console me and we'd end up crying together. Sadly, my grandmother passed away in her sleep from a heart attack. My relatives kept pushing my dad to remarry, questioning whether he could raise his young son alone. Dad always said, "The only woman in my life is Liam's mom," and didn't date anyone. However, after much persuasion from the elders about a good woman they knew, he met my stepmom. She had an oval face with big, bright eyes, was quite tall and very slim. My stepmom, who hadn't thought about marriage, fell for Dad's warm personality and decided to marry him. At that time, I was in elementary school, and my stepmom was in her early 30s. To me, she was beautiful and kind. When Dad introduced her, missing the warmth of a mother, I ran into her arms asking, "Will you be my mom now?" With a smile. My stepmom embraced me with love from the moment I called her mom. She tutored middle and high school students and brought her students to our house. After school, I learned from her, and when she was busy, I'd run errands to get snacks for my brother and sister. She declared she would focus on raising me and not have any more children, which I found enviable when I saw friends with siblings. I once whined to Dad, wishing for a beautiful little sister. But he said, Liam, there's no guarantee of having a daughter, and our family plan is already complete, with a laugh. Even after Dad passed away, my stepmom continued tutoring. I got into a pretty good university, and on the day I confirmed my admission, my stepmom was overjoyed. People told her that now Liam was an adult. He should leave home and live freely. But whenever she heard this, my stepmom would say, My only family is Liam. Don't tell me what to do with my life. Shutting down those unnecessary comments, she emphasized that her only hope was me. I felt both sorry and thankful for her, so I tried to spend more time with her. One day, I asked her why she married a man with a child. She said, After meeting your dad, I thought his gentle and domestic nature would make him a good husband. Plus, you were so adorable when you ran up and called me Mom that I wanted to join this family quickly. Though people judged her for marrying a man with a son, she said she didn't care about their opinions. Lately, my mom has been shedding tears, missing Dad so much that it breaks my heart. So, I held her tight. Stroking my hair, she said, I just need you, Liam. Seeing you reminds me of your dad. That's all I need. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah, I get it. I'll always be by your side, Mom. You're all the family I've got, I replied, hugging her again. College life has been fun. A whole different world from the studious days of high school, coming home after a light drink with upperclassmen and friends. Mom would shyly smile and say, Liam, I get so lonely. Dad's not here, and you're growing up so well. Could you come home a bit earlier? That's when I realized how lonely she must feel. Despite her young age, she seemed so solitary. After midterms, Mom suggested we have a beer together. She wore a pretty dress that day, and as we shared stories about her college days over several beers, I couldn't help but notice she was still beautiful. I wanted to spend more time with her, but couldn't express it. Whether it was my feelings or hers that came first, we never discussed it. That night, Mom got a bit tipsy and continued chatting with her legs up on the couch. Unable to hold back any longer, we ended up in the bedroom. Waking up in the early morning, Mom said it was a wonderful time, tears in her eyes. It was awkward being my first time, but since then we've been living in the same space. Mom checks important dates on an app and tells me to be careful. Throughout college, we stayed together. I had a girlfriend briefly, but never developed a deep relationship. Mom said not to worry about jealousy and to enjoy dating, but I told her, I haven't met anyone as beautiful as you. Don't say things you don't mean, and hugged her. Comforted by my words, Mom sighed deeply. After graduating college and landing a good job, Mom suggested we move away from tutoring and find a quiet place to live. We sold our house and bought land nearby to build a cozy home. We made a promise to each other to never marry and just live together. To the outside world, we may seem like a loving mother and son, but at night, we share a different kind of closeness. I can't help but feel grateful and happy for our unique bond.